Hi, friends. I want to talk to you today about how to keep standing for your marriage. I will encourage you to stay for your marriage no matter if she left, he left, or you have been standing for years. And I only say I encourage you because, the process is not easy. And I've been down that road, and I will be honest, I still stand, even though my husband came back, it's still a process. You still want to continue to pray because you want to pray that they will stay with you and stay home and stay grounded with you. So it's not easy, but I want to kind of like tell you how you should stand and I guess a little bit why, because sometimes, you stand and you wonder, well, why am I doing this? Is this really working? Will this work? I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to continue on. And it takes a lot of patience, and you have to ask God to give you patience. I would tell you this, if you stand for your marriage and trust God, He will restore it. I had to sit back, let go, and let God and trust in Him. And once I did that, I was able to feel relieved and free in a sense. But my stand was for years, and there were times when I thought it was over. I mean, my husband used to tell me he didn't want to be married to me anymore. He had moved out. I was broken. I started to lose hope and started, for a short time, I started to believe that my marriage was really over. And, you are what you think. So when you start thinking it's over, then it starts feeling like it's over. So you don't want to think like that or feel that way. You want to speak it into existence. So once I woke up, I started asking God, how can I strengthen and restore my marriage? I didn't want to give up. But I will be honest, when you're standing, it gets hard before it gets better. But God is preparing you. I was tested on many occasions. My husband and I would be at war with each other. It was not an easy road. So with that not being an easy road, I'm going to tell you, be prepared to stand. And I say that because it's a process. It can take 2 weeks or years. When you stand, you're standing on God's time. When standing, you have to believe that your spouse will return. You have to have faith that God will restore your marriage. Speak it into existence. In the Bible, it states, whatever you speak comes out and it comes to life. So you want to be able to speak life into existence. You want to speak your marriage into existence. You want to speak your spouse coming back home to you in existence. It says in Ephesians 4:29, let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up as it fits the occasion, that it may give you grace to those who hear. So you want to speak your marriage into existence. You want to speak your spouse coming back home to you in existence. You want to speak restoring your marriage into existence. But the main thing is you have to let go and let God. When we worry and wonder, that's taking matters into our own hands. And we can't worry about what our spouse is doing, who they are with, why they're not calling us. That is not that is not going to get us them back. Honestly, it's honestly getting in the way of what God is doing. It's not us trusting God. And we have to trust God and trust that God will restore our marriage. Trust that God will touch our spouse's heart and their minds and let them see what they're missing. It's not up to us to, call them up and be like, what are you doing? Why you haven't called me? Why you haven't come over? Like, I've been down that road and it doesn't work. All it does is just push them away even further. So we just have to put it all in God's hands and let Him take care of it. Honestly, I've been down that road, and it looking back, it was doing more harm than good for both of us. I was stressing myself out, and I didn't need that. Like, there are times I just couldn't sleep at night. I started getting headaches, and it was just not fun. And so when you look back, you're like, I was just stressing myself out. But then once I started not caring anymore and just letting God take over, I was at peace. I started to feel better. Like, I was renewed. It was a whole new me once I let God take over and just trust him and trust that he will do what he needs to do. Well, he knows what he wants to do. So he did just that. So when standing, we have to just trust God and trust the process. Once I started trusting God, I began to see the progress. And once I started seeing the progress, honestly, I didn't really understand. I started questioning, like, why, how is this happening? Really, he's coming back? And then I started saying, wait a minute, God, thank you. You really came through. And it wasn't that he came through. It was, I trusted him. I left it in his hands. He said to me, he couldn't do it while I was in the way. I was in the way. When you move out the way and just let God do what he needs to do, trust me, the process becomes a lot easier. We have to stop getting in the way. We have to stop calling and the husband or the spouse, the wife's terms are nagging. We're nagging them. Well, let's stop. When we stop doing that and just let God take over everything, the process becomes easier, because then the spouse probably start thinking, wow, why they haven't called me? They haven't nagged me in a long time. What's going on? Then they start wondering. But it's not up to us. Just let God take over. Let's read this Bible verse. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 10. And the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. So basically, no matter what the obstacles, God can restore your marriage from all things. He can change all things: adultery, mean arguments, health issues, trust issues, for your good. He can do it all. He can help with your marriage. He can and will restore your marriage. You just have to trust and believe. I hope this helps you with standing. Because this journey is not easy. This process is not easy. But trusting God, keep reading the Bible. And while you stand, just know that you are not alone. Thank you all for listening. I pray for you all each and every day. And just keep trusting and believing and say your marriage will be restored, and it will be restored. Thank you. Have a great day.